Hi guys, my name's Adelaide and welcome to Adelaide Stitches. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch and sometimes a little bit of knitting. Today it is October the 3rd, so a Friday, and it is my third day of my 31 days of Halloween stitching. And I'm excited to show you where I got to last night. So let's begin. The main project that I'm working on is Stitch Witch by Tiny Modernist. I'll pop a picture of her up. Yeah, she's pretty spectacular, isn't she? And I'm really pleased with where I got to last night. So here she is. I feel like she's kind of popping to life now. She's got a dress, she's got shoulders, and just a floating head. She has really improved. I love her. I love how she looks, actually. I'm not going to, but you could even finish her here. Like, how cute would that be? But I'm sure as I stitch the rest of her body, I'll be even more in love. But oh, look at that. So pleased. So this is stitched on 28 count Lugana even weave, hand dyed by me. I'm using the called for DMC. It's only 6 colors, and how effective do they look? I just love it. So last night I got in 338 stitches, which brought me to 1,866 out of 12,274, which is 15.2%. So really happy with that. That is a little bit less than what I aimed for, but I was a little bit more the night before, so I figure it evens out. And that was my thread ended and I felt like that was a really nice spot to leave her. How great does she look? Gotta show her again. I'm just so pleased. So I am going to keep going with her arm tonight and maybe try and do some of the letters and stars and symbols up here. That is my thinking, because I know if I just keep stitching her, which is such fun, then I'll have to go back and do all the little bits at the end, and I don't think that'll be as fun. I think I'm better to kind of, yeah, just do a bit of both and get them both done instead of, yeah. I really like block stitching, so I think that's why I've enjoyed all this stitching on her so far, when you've got to have lots of little bits and stops and starts and colour changes, and especially this is light fabric, so I'm not going to be carrying my threads across because you will see it. Well, famous last words, we'll see you tomorrow. If that's still what I think, or if I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to carry them. But I have a feeling with the dark colours especially, you'd see the threads behind this light fabric. So yeah, I'm going to balance it out and do a bit of the main stitching and do a bit of the little bits. Yeah, I'm sure once I put all the extras in, that they will really add to her though as well. So yeah, that's my main project. She's coming along really well. I'm really pleased with choosing her to get her finished this month because, well, as you know, I have a lot of Halloween whips, so I did have a lot of choice, but no, she's just a really, really gorgeous design. So the next piece I stitched on, which had its ups and downs, was the Halloween Spooky Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I'll put a picture of that one up. This was my wheel project I spun yesterday. And in the end, I got some good progress on it. So this is how it's looking. Look at that. Though I do wonder, I started this last year in October, and what was I thinking putting it in the center of this bit of fabric? I just have so much room around it. And I even said yesterday I didn't think I was going to do the black lace border, but now I think I should, because otherwise I'm going to have very strange fabric bits left. I think I thought it'd be a lot bigger than it actually is. But what happened was, last night I started L, which is for lollipop, and I started the lollipop, and actually I have to frog all that green. It is totally and utterly wrong. So then I realized, well, why don't I put in the rest of the frame and then I'll have good reference points so I can stitch and hopefully not get it wrong. So that's what I did. So all the frame around these 2 blocks, I extended out. And then also when I went into markup to mark it off, I found, yesterday I said I'd only done 360 or something stitches on it, and I was surprised. I really thought I'd done a lot more. Well, I had done a lot more. I just hadn't marked it off, had I? So this whole block I hadn't marked off, and I hadn't marked off the branch either. I don't know what I was thinking. I think in markup, the way I've got it in, you have to be really careful not to select like a background square because it will select that as well. I'm not sure why. It's like the whole chart is up for grabs. So it's not as obvious when you have selected and marked off a symbol than when you haven't. I probably need to go into settings and change it to make it all obvious. I think that's why I didn't realize. So I went in and I very carefully marked off this and that and obviously that as I stitched, so without stitching the background. And now it says that I am up to 858 stitches, which sounds a bit better, doesn't it? Out of 6,505, and I'm at 19.15%. So pleased with that. I mean, if I don't stitch the lace border, it will be even quicker, but I think I might need to, just to make it like a really good size, because I'm guessing it's going to add quite a bit to it round. And I was surprised when I stitched the frame that it actually doesn't come all the way around. I think because I'd stitched this block, I expected it to, but once I realized that, I think I will need that big black lace border. And it's only one color. I'm sure it would stitch up pretty quick. Maybe I should try and get started on it next time I spin it, just so I don't have it all left at the end. But yeah, really pleased with this. This is on 14 count Aida, and it's using just the called for DMC, so not the weeks it's suggested or anything. And I think it looks fantastic. Really, really nice. I don't feel like I needed the over dyed threads. Yeah. And so with the DMC 14 count Aida, I'm doing 2 over 1, so it'd be 2 strands over 1 square. So in the end, despite my, actually I should write down, I need to undo it, or maybe I'll undo it after this, so it's definitely gone and I don't get mixed up. But despite the shaky start and the questionable marking off, I made some really, really good progress on this. So that's what I did last night. I also did a bit of knitting, but I'm gonna leave that to the end because that's to do with the new MKAL by Stephen West that was released, and I don't want to spoil that for anyone. So I will leave that right to the end. Let me get my wheel and spin it, and we'll see what I'm stitching on tonight. Okay, so I've got my wheel. Let's spin it and see what I'm working on after the Stitch Witch tonight. Ooh, tonight we ride. That's a good project. I will get that out. They're all good projects, but you know what I mean. I really enjoy working on it. Okay, so the project I spun is Tonight We Ride by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'll pop a picture of it up. This I started this year for my orange fabric Halloween sale that I did for my birthday. And yeah, it's just been such fun. Thank you so much to everyone that's participated. Quite a few people have already even stitched this pattern as well, and there are pictures of finishes in my Facebook group Adelaide Stitches, and yeah, I've just been blown away. Just they look so fantastic, so I'm so excited to get back and stitch on mine. But as well as that, it's amazing what you can get done if you focus and have fewer whips. I love how it's always news to me. But anyway, I'm very pleased with my progress so far on this one. This is how it looks. Isn't it spectacular? Now, this fabric is Orange Bellied Parrot. It's a Sassy Pouch from a Tasmanian company that no longer does their pouches or fabric anymore. I was lucky to get this from Kim Does Things. I'll link her Instagram account below. Thank you so much, Kim. I've really enjoyed using the fabric. This chart has, sorry, just getting my notes. So it only has 5 DMC colours. I just had to double check that because I thought 6 colours for Stitch Witch was good, but this is 5 and it just looks so effective. It's 197 by 137, so sizable. And I'm currently up to 2,013 stitches out of 14,933, which is 13.48%. Now, I have this on my October acrostic, and yes, it's under O for Orange Fabric Sale. That makes sense. And I would like to get to 20%. So it'd be really good to get some good progress on this tonight. I think I probably will continue on with the black. I mean, look at that. Although there is a really gorgeous moon up there. So I don't know, we'll see which way I'm feeling as to how I go, but I'm really, really excited to get back to this and show you what I'm working on. Oh, that's a lovely project. So tonight it'll be Stitch Witch. It will be this. I will talk about knitting in a minute, but I had a look at my comments before I came on. Thank you so much to everyone that commented. It's so lovely to find out what you're stitching on and yeah, just get your feedback. And I know I do my best. I am a bit behind on some of the comments, but I will catch up. It is, yeah, really nice hearing what you have to say. Now, when I looked this morning, I had 2 questions. So the first one, I think it's because I talked about snakes yesterday and it was asked me about tarantulas and whether we have them in Australia. Now, we do have tarantulas in Australia, but usually where it's very tropical or desert. So because I live in the Blue Mountains, I've never seen one. I've never heard of anyone seeing one around here. So not really our region. I think if you went up to like, because I'm in New South Wales, which is a state in the middle on the east coast of Australia. I think if you went up to Queensland or Northern Territory, then probably you would. We do have funnel webs though, which I think they're the most poisonous spiders in the world. We have Sydney funnel webs and Blue Mountains funnel webs where I live. Only, well, we're going to touch wood here. Only once I have come across one on my doorway it was the year we moved in here. So what was that, like 12 years ago? So quite a while ago. And I have to admit, I called my dad and he came and got it, put it in a container and took it out to the bush. And I was very glad he did because it was big and it was feisty and yeah, you could see all the venom and everything was going berserk, quite aggressive in the container. So I was an absolute chicken. But that's okay, you know, we all have our foibles and that's mine, spiders and snakes. So yes, and then the other question I had was a cross stitch slump. What do I do if I'm in a cross stitch slump? And I thought about that and that's really hard. I think if I'm not feeling stitchy, I do trust it will come back. Firstly, I think we all go through stages where ebbs and flows, you're super enthusiastic about something and then kind of you feel a bit less and then more again, so definitely that. I do find Facebook groups help at times. I often go on and look at their challenges and sometimes just looking at their prompts just makes me think about my whips and what I'd like to work on and what fits into their prompts. I quite like planning about cross stitch and that usually makes me more enthusiastic. A good one that I really haven't used much this year is, I think it's called Fandom Stitching. I'll put it below. Last year it was Disney and I used it quite a bit because I have kids and obviously I watched Disney growing up, so I don't know, there was that bond and it was exciting seeing how my whips fitted. This year it's Supernatural and Doctor Who and it still has some really good prompts, but I guess I don't have the same connection to those shows as I did to Disney. But it is still a good one, has really good prompts they do weekly, so I'll link that one below. The other thing I always find it good to do is just make yourself a goal. So go through and say, I'm going to do 100 stitches on all my whips. And for some of us, like me, that's a lot. But it is only 100 stitches. And for other people with less, that'd be a lot easier. And then I find I 100% do not get through them all. Usually by like the 5th or 6th one, I go, oh yeah, I really enjoy working on this piece. I just want to get this done. And then that kind of spurs me on. So that's my suggestions if you're in a cross stitch slump. I guess also, but if you're watching this, you'll know about it. Floss tube is good too. That's good for a spending slump as well as a stitching slump though. But anyway, yeah, it happens to everyone, but yes, I'm sure that, as I said, ebbs and flows, it will come and go, and definitely the stitching mojo will come back. So yes, that was my questions for today. Let me know if you have any more. Before I go, 2 things. I wanted to show some really, really lovely Stitchy Kindness that I've been given. So just one sec, I'm gonna get it. Okay, I'm back with my goodies. So in September, I met up with an absolutely lovely stitchy friend who I have met through YouTube comments, and her name is Akiza, and I wrote down her Instagram too. If you'd like to go look at her account, she has some really lovely projects at Afterthought. So I will put the link down below in my description. And it was so fun and so nice to meet up with someone about stitching, and she was so lovely, and she actually gave me this, which you have seen in my Halloween plans video, but because I haven't done a proper floss tube for ages, I haven't got a chance to kind of talk about it and show it. And this is the amazing 40 count linen from Picture This Plus. This is Murky, and wow, I cannot believe I have a piece of this. Thank you so much, Akiza. I am so stoked. I am so excited for the Halloween Quaker to get spun up. She is starting at 2 with me, so how awesome is that? And if it's not organically spun by the wheels soon, we'll have to do some tinkering, because this needs some love and some progress. And a start. So very, very excited about this. Thank you so much. And as well, when I met her, she had like a little bundle for me. It was so lovely and so sweet of her. And so in it were some really gorgeous dinky dies. Now some of these I've actually taken and used for this project, and I did show them my Halloween's plans video, but she also gave me these. Aren't they beautiful? Which I just can't wait to find projects to use. I mean, that is so autumnal. I definitely think the light blues I'll be using in Christmas. Oh, and the green. And look at this with the mauve and the blue. They're so beautiful. So, oh, just lovely. Thank you so much. And then as well as that, because she knows I like bees, and she actually has this one finished on her Instagram, and it looks so cute. Her finish was amazing. She gave me the bee cottage. Isn't it sweet? I've never seen this before. It is so cute. She gave me this one you have seen before, because actually I've stitched it ABC, but she was so kind and said that I could use it as a giveaway, and I actually have this going as a giveaway at the moment in my members videos. So I'll have details below on how to join and become a member and the perks, but yeah, and I will probably draw this next week. So that's my plan. Isn't that nice? I loved stitching this one. It was so fun. And then she also gave me, look at this one, Carriage House Samplings. I've never seen it. Bee in her bonnet. How cute is that? I mean, that is just perfect for a bee wall, isn't it? So last year I stitched bees in January, and I would like to do that again this year. However, my daughter's birthday is in January, and obviously there's a certain Bella Filipina that's calling us, and maybe it has to be the letter B is my theme for January. Bella Filipinas and bees. They're a mix, aren't they? So, no, love that one. Love the colours. That teal is so beautiful with the bees. And then this one's just perfect. And actually, my son has pulled this one out. And be like, oh, wow, Mum, look at that. When are you stitching that? Look at this. Isn't it cute? It's just gorgeous. It is full coverage, and she has finished it. It is on her Instagram, so definitely go check her account out, because it's just adorable. And I think after I finish my penguin Gecko Rouge one, we'll find a way. This would be my next one, because they're actually quite similar designs, and I think they'd look awesome together. So this is from the Deniz Design Studio on Etsy. So I will pop I'll pop the details of that below as well if you're interested in this super cute penguin. Look at him. So thank you so much, Akiza. It was such fun. We're going to meet up again, which is really exciting. It's really nice having someone to chat face to face and more local stitchy too, so that was really exciting. And yeah, I really appreciate the gift so much. I gave her some fabric, but I didn't take a photo before I did, so sorry about that. Next time I will be more organised with my filming. But yeah, I just wanted to show that lovely Stitchy Kindess, which I'm really excited about. So that was that. And then MKAL. Okay, so this is for knitting. So if you're not interested and you've just here for the cross stitch, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I just wanted to quickly chat about the Stephen West MKAL 2025 MKAL that came out last night in Australia, which was very exciting. I'll pop a picture of the graphic which he's doing for it up. Okay, so the MKAL came out last night, which is very exciting, and it was really good to have clue 1 because it made me decide what my yarn was going to be. Now I know I'm not going to keep up, especially with everything else I'm doing in October, but it's still fun. I've been kind of following the promos and the hype as it's starting and thinking about colours, and actually I had ordered a kit, but my kit got lost by Australia Post, and in the end I got a refund for it, so that didn't happen. But I thought, well, that's a sign. I definitely need to look at my stash and see what I've got. So I did, and I have chosen 4 colours, and I did do a little cast on last night just to see what I think and if I got them in the right order. So the first yarn I chose for my A is this beautiful green. Can you tell it's my colour? And this is by 24 Mile Hollow, and it's called Galapagos. I got it from a shop in Richmond, and she is an Australian dyer from the Central West Australia. So that is pretty cool. And then B is this beautiful blue. Now, because I'm using yarn for my stash, I just know it's a 4-ply sock yarn. I think it's a Peruvian kind of, I think it's from Peru. Yeah, I just feel like it is, and especially like the type of yarn it is. But yeah, that's going to be my B. And okay, I will talk about the design. So spoiler alert if you don't want to know anything about it. Yeah. Sorry, just, I don't know, skip this bit. But yes, so this will be for the welts at the moment for part 1. So excited about that. Main colour welts. And then I have this lovely colour, and this is from Fibrelily, who's another Australian yarn dyer. Now this came as a perfect pairing, so with like an aqua blue, which I didn't use it for, but it didn't have a colour number, so I'm not sure what colour it is, but I just thought that would give it pop. And Stephen did talk about how C would be a colour that's a soloist later on and needs to be a poppy colour. Oops, sorry. Throwing my yarn about, so I thought that would look good. And then finally D, which I haven't used yet, but I thought this nice dark green. Now I believe this is Schoppel, a German brand. Definitely one of their planes, maybe Admiral, I think their plane was called, or is called. So that is my colours so far for my shawl. I'm thinking, yeah, they're pretty me. What a surprise. I do have a blue in there though, so I do have a bit of contrast, so I'm excited about that. And then I did do just a little cast on last night, kind of see what I thought about the colours, and I began the first scallop. So this is what it looks like so far. So I think I'm pleased with that. So I'll have that beautiful green as A, that blue is the B, and then I'm actually up to the point where I have to decide whether I do the brioche or the garter stitch stripes, and I'm not sure. At the moment I'm knitting the 2024 MKAL and I'm on brioche at the moment. I don't mind doing it. It definitely is time consuming, and I do find it's not something I can do when I have kids around. So that did make me wonder, should I just go the garter stitch stripes? They do look really, really pretty. And I don't think anyone's ever going to come up and say to me, oh, well, you didn't do the brioche. I'll find out, I guess. So that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. Maybe I'll be back in a few days going like, yeah, I did the brioche. But yeah, let me know if you have ever done one of his MKALs before, or you're doing one now. I'd be really interested to know and know what you're using. But yes, oh, and for the colour pop, I didn't have mohair that fitted in, but I found this one ball, and actually I think it's a cashmere, 70% cashmere, 30% silk, and see it's got a bit of a halo, and I thought it could really work with that colour. and just add a bit of a pop in. So I haven't added it yet. I'm not sure I will use it for clue 1. I might wait and see if there's another clue where it fits in better, because looking at the kind of schematic he gave of where everything goes, it didn't jump out to me where to use this right now. But yeah, that's just my little bit of knitting talk for the day. So I think that is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you for all the comments, the likes, subscribes. Once again, thank you to my awesome members. I really appreciate your support. And well, day 3 today, so I'll be back tomorrow for day 4. Have a great day, everyone. We just had a home day yesterday, actually, because it was super duper windy, but I did take some nice footage when we were sitting on the deck, and the kids were playing in the garden and coming back and forth. And yeah, it's not only you see our bush, which is lovely, but you see Bertie, our doggy, and I feel he gets left out a bit because he can't jump up and be around like the cats. Like, he's with us, but usually at, I guess, our leg and foot level. I never let him jump up on sofas because we got him when my my daughter, my middle child, was 8 months. So I never wanted that, I don't know, that hierarchy confusion with having a dog on the sofa with babies. That was just too much. So he's always been a floor dog, and probably better for his back too as he gets older. So yeah, so he's our cutie sweetie. He's just the nicest dog. He's a Tibetan Spaniel, has the sweetest nature. So yeah, you'll see him, our doggy star. All right, well, have a fantastic day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Buddy. Hello, mister.